Wolf, at two nuclear power facilities here in Nebraska, officials are struggling to keep this historic Missouri River floodwater at bay. This plant behind me is where the need is most urgent. This is the Fort Calhoun nuclear power facility just outside Fort Calhoun. Our photojournalist Mark Biello is going to zoom in where you can see the floodwater is creeping very, very close to the main building there and really engulfing some of the outer buildings around there. Now, this is the facility where yesterday a worker accidentally punctured a hole in a 3/4 mile long aqua berm that had been built to protect this facility. That berm had been filled with water. A hole was punctured in it. It allowed that water and some of the floodwaters to creep closer to the building and surround the transformer. That is a key development because at that point, this plant had to go offline and be powered on generator power for a few hours. It's back on the power grid now, but officials here are keeping a very close watch on that because as the water kind of stays near the power transformer, it does run the risk of a repeat of that Japanese Fukushima Daiichi plant situation where the floodwaters knocked out the power. They couldn't power the pumps that put water in there to cool the reactor, to cool the spent fuel rods at that plant, and 3 reactors melted down. Obviously, they're trying to avoid a repeat of that here, and they say this plant is in a much different situation. They say it's much more safe right now, and they have this under control, but they are watching those transformers because, again, they power the pumps that send in the cool water to basically cool the reactor, to cool the spent fuel rods. If the transformers are flooded, if they get knocked out, that's going to be a pretty dicey situation. But they say that right now, this plant is safe, and they are operating off the regular power grid right now. This plant was shut down in April for refueling, so it's not actually functioning to power electricity around this area, but it is. They still need the power to cool those rods, to cool the reactor, and that's what they're watching very closely as the water creeps toward that transformer. At another plant about 80 miles south of here, that's the Cooper Station plant. That's built on higher ground. It's a lot drier. But again, the Missouri River water is fairly close to that plant. They're keeping a very close eye on that. Now, at this plant here, we're told we're going to get access to this plant within the hour. We hope to get inside to see the real damage where it's at the worst point and what officials here are saying about it. If we can get out in time, we'll of course come out and show some of our viewers the pictures of what we saw inside. Either way, we'll show viewers those pictures as soon as we get out, Wolf. But again, this is pretty much the most urgent area where officials are trying to keep the floodwaters from compromising this nuclear power